Yo, ladies and gentlemen, it's the whale. All right, I am coming at you with my ninja deck profile that I have been playing for the month of August 2023. Can you guys believe it's almost the end of the year? It is crazy. Well, this year has had a lot of ups and downs, but I have found a deck that, has kind of kept me entertained through it all, which is ninjas. Now, quick side note, like always, if you guys just care about the deck image, you guys can just click the link down below, and there's the deck image, side deck, and extra deck included. This deck is still not complete because I am waiting on some cards in the mail, but they did get, I guess, lost in the mail. But regardless, I wanted to get this profile out to you guys. Another quick side note, this deck is not easy, but boy, is it fun and fulfilling to play when you get to be like a meta deck like Kashtira, or even like something like, I don't know, Dinos or something. Even though they're not meta, it's still really, really fun to play. So guys, let's just get straight into the deck profile. As you guys can obviously tell, I have my shadow clone because, come on, we're all ninjas at heart here. So let's get straight into the deck profile. We're running 3 of your main starter, Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. I know that the ninja cards were popular for a time when they first came out. They had some couple of events topping and all that sort of thing. But they kind of fell into obscurity again. So essentially what Hanzo does is on normal summon, you can add a Ninjutsu Art card from your deck to your hand. And when this card is normal or flipped, when this card is flipped or special summoned, you can add a ninja monster from your deck to your hand. None of those cards are once per turn, but please keep in mind that the card is really easy to miss timing. So make sure it's the very last thing that happens in the chain. Okay. So he's your #1 starter. He's usually your main combo piece. I recommend what I did with this deck to kind of get semi-optimal with it, and I still take my time kind of thinking of the plays. This is a very conservative deck. If you guys have ever played Sky Strikers, it almost plays like that because you really have to play conservative with your cards. So I recommend looking at some combo tutorials. There's a bunch of them. So yeah, I recommend doing that. Or if you're just a Chad, you can just go straight into it. 3, Mitsu. Okay, so Mitsu the Insect Ninja is your level 2, 200 attack, 2100 booty. Okay, so essentially it's a free special summon if you control a face down or a ninja card, and then you can special summon this card from your hand. Cool, that's awesome. It also states that when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can target one face down defense position monster you control, change it to face up defense position, and if you do, change this card to face down defense position and then negate that card's effect. So it is your inbuilt monster negate. It doesn't destroy. So essentially what the main play that you want to have is a face down ninja and Mitsu on the board. Your opponent activates an effect like Fenrir. Mitsu effect activates. You flip. You set. Hanzo effect activates. So that is very, very cool. I mean, that's like in an ideal world. More than likely, you'll never have Hanzo set though. I mean, more than likely. I mean, it does happen, but it's probably like a Tabari or something like that. And then you just go into a quick fusion. That being said, we are running 3 Tobari. So Tobari, these are your like main ninjas. There's a reason why you run them at 3, right? So Mitsu is your extender. Tobari is your quick effect fusion summon during your opponent's turn. So it essentially states that this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect the turn that it was special summoned. Meaning that if you were to bring it out with like an Ninjutsu trap card and then the Ninjutsu trap card gets destroyed, please keep in mind that it does not, Tobari does not get destroyed because it cannot be destroyed by card effects that turn, nor can it be destroyed by battle. Okay, so it has kind of like an inbuilt protection in that regard. And then it says that once per turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard as cost and special summon a ninja monster from your hand. So that's one way of special summoning out Hanzo, to kind of get a ninja search if that's what you're missing in hand and you already have all your ninjutsu cards basically in your hand. So that's one way of doing it. There's a lot of combos with Tabari. And then its third effect, which is the one that it's mostly used for, is that during your opponent's main phase or battle phase, quick effect, you can fusion summon one ninja monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field as material. Keep in mind that it doesn't need to be Tabari, so you can just use like Mitsu and Hanzo. It doesn't need to be Tabari, so that way you have an extra layer of protection. Something that should really stick out to you guys is the fact that they're all different types, meaning warrior, insect, winged beast. So to make the ninja monster fusion, you do need 2 ninja monsters, but with different types. So please keep that in mind. be very mindful about that. When I was learning the deck, I would kind of just contact fuse, because that's what the deck does. It contact fuses with the same archetype, and it would be kind of like a soft cheating, and I would catch it later, like when I'm reviewing my gameplay or something like that. So just keep that in mind. So 3 Tabari, 3 Hanzo, 3 Mitsu. That is probably always going to be the staple until we get more support. But come on, we're ninjas. Of course we're going to get support, right? So for the one-off ninja cards, we're running the 1 green ninja, the 1 Geo, our main source of disruption, the 1 Baku, and the 1 Kagero. I have grown to adore Kagero. Kagero, she is a fantastic card. Okay, so let's get to it. Green Ninja, it's another extender. Okay, you don't need to run more than 2. It's pretty good at 1. Something I did want to state is the fact that the ninja archetype, it's very based on playstyle and what you want to do with the deck. Meaning that if you want to run multiple green ninjas, by all means you can. If you want to run 2 Geo, by all means you can. So just keep in mind, it's all player preference. Play the deck, look at a skeleton build, net deck, and feel it for yourself and see what you like. So let's get right to it again. So Green Ninja, if you control, if a monster is special summoned to your field face up, except during the damage step, you can target one of them, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, change that monster to face down defense position. So it's a free extender, essentially, right? Though I barely ever use that effect, but if I do use it, it's probably to contact fuse, right? Because it doesn't matter if your monsters are face down. But this is one of your form of disruptions to your opponent. Why does everybody say that Ninjas has a great Kashtira matchup? Well, that's very simple, because they go face down. And if they go face, you flip them face down. So if the monsters are face down, they can't link, they can't XYZ, etc., etc. This one also states that if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can target one monster on the field, change it to face up attack position or face down defense position. So there is a pretty neat combo with just Hanzo that can net you at least 2 interruptions. I highly recommend looking at a combo tutorial video, but essentially it's you normal summon Hanzo, get duplication, set duplication, your opponent's turn, let's say they have 2 monsters, flip duplication, get Green Ninja, get and 2 Tabaris, and then Tabari can fusion summon, and then you get like a Hanzo or a Yagamaru, and then Green Ninja effect activates to set 1, and Yagamaru effect activates to banish 1. So there you go, that's 2 interruptions just for the price of 1 card. So really, really good with the Green Ninja. Geo. Geo is your main form of disruption in the main deck, I would say, because it's very simple. Essentially, when he is normal or special summoned, you get to target 2 monsters on the field, change them to face down defense position, and if you do, your opponent's monsters that were flipped face down by this effect cannot change their battle position by nothing. Well, except by a card effect like a Book of Eclipse or something like that, right? But they can't change their battle position. So meaning, so a lot of the times, I special summon this guy out, I target, I target one monster they control, and I usually target Geo. I face Geo face down, and my opponent's monsters face down. They cannot change their battle position. Geo can, because that restriction only applies to your opponent's monster. Okay, so this is a potential 2-card Book of Moon, and you lock 2 zones. And most decks don't ever fusion summon. So Synchro, XYZ, Link summon, well, that doesn't happen. It also has a pretty nifty effect that if a monster on the field is face up, while this card is face up, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. So let's just say you have a Green Ninja flip and a Geo face up, and this gets flipped face up. Geo activates to pop a card your opponent controls. So that's another form of disruption. And plus Geo is a really big attack, 2300 with 2900 defense. That matters. You will see why in the extra deck. Baku. Baku is your source of looping, okay? Meaning that Baku is a level 3 beast, okay? Like I said, warrior, rock, beast, warrior. So Baku, if he is added to your hand, except by the drawing it, you get to special summon this card. So it's another free extender. That's fantastic, right? If this card is special summon or flipped face up, you can target 1 ninja or ninjutsu art card from your graveyard or face up spell or trap card zone and add it to your hand. So there's basically a loop with this and Ninjutsu Tool Iron Digger, where you basically kind of just loop Iron Digger, and then you get like 2 cards back to your hand. So you equip Iron Digger to whatever, you pop it, and then Iron Digger's effect activates to get a card from your banish zone or special summon it, and then Baku lets you, add something from your graveyard to your hand. So that's pretty good. Kagero. Kagero is actually my favorite card. Why? Because everybody skips this card. This card is so fantastic. It's so abusable too. So it says that if this card is normal or special summoned or flipped face up, you can special summon one ninja monster from your hand or graveyard in face down defense position. Guys, that is a non-targeting, like you don't have to declare, I'm sorry, not declare. You don't have to specify, like, okay, if you have a ninja in your hand or a ninja in your graveyard, you don't have to state where you're going to do it. You just activate effect, and they have to respond to that effect, okay? Because it's non-targeting, so they realistically can't even call it by the graveyard unless you only have like one ninja in graveyard. But then you can special summon from hand, so you're good, okay? But the best effect of this is that when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets exactly one ninja card you control or a face-down defense position monster you control, while this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can special summon this card face down in defense position, and if you do, return the targeted card to your hand. So it just allows you to dodge a lot of things like Imperm, Book of Moon, whatever the case may be. This card's really fantastic, okay? Because then at that point, you can probably do some shenanigans by flipping it or whatever the case may be, and then special summoning another ninja from your hand. Awesome. That is it for the ninjas until we get more ninja support. Like I said, this deck is really fun and honestly very rewarding to play. This has been probably the deck that I have used my brain the most. I've tried to go 5-head, and every time I win, I'm like, ah, yes, that feels so good. And every time I lose, I understand why and what I could have done better. Very few times that this deck kind of, loses to itself. So for the rest of the monsters, which are hand traps, I'm running the 3 Ash Blossom. I mean, come on, it's Ash, right? And I am opting to run 3 Nibiru. So this deck has a problem with dealing with established boards. So usually going second kind of sucks for this deck, but not a problem. We have the Rock, right? So if you're facing Salamangreats, if you're facing something like Kashtira and they don't think, usually in the Kashtira matchup is very easy for me to bluff in real life, because even though I'm sitting on Ash or another hand trap, I just let them go off, and they think that you don't have anything, so they usually end on Shangri-La and like a Rise Heart, and then I'm like, okay, Rock. So Nibiru is just my hand of choice. Like I said, you can run anything, Effect Veiler, you can run Imperm, you can run Droll and Lockbird. That doesn't affect you at all in this deck, but the thing is just that like I said, this deck has a problem dealing with established boards already, so I kind of want to minimize that as much as possible, and having Nibiru just kind of makes me safe, makes me feel safer. So there you go. That is my reasoning behind Nibiru, but again, you can put absolutely any hand trap you want. I apologize for that. Okay, so for the spells, we're running 3 of the Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery. Okay, so like I said, the ninja archetype is very diverse. A lot of players run this at 2. I run it at 3 because I love to see it. It's very loopable as well, so you really could run it at 2. A lot of these ratios you can change by player preference. Okay, so let's go to it. It's a quick play spell card. So check this out. If your opponent controls a card, you can set up to 1 ninja monster and up to 1 ninjutsu spell or trap card, except this card. These cards come from your deck or graveyard, but only 1 can come from each. Meaning that if you have a Ninja Hanzo in your graveyard and you have another ninjutsu art card in your deck, you set the Hanzo face down and you set the ninjutsu art from your deck to your hand. From your deck to the field. That is insane. That is so good. Okay, and all your opponent has to do is control a card. So going first, if you see multiples of these, yes, it does kind of suck because your opponent technically isn't playing, but you can always set this, and then if your opponent, let's just say, activates anything, well, they technically control a card, you can chain this already. That way you can get your disruption like Green Ninja, or maybe a Tabari, or something for me too, So you can see how the deck kind of really plays. It also has a hidden effect that if this set card on the field were sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, change it to face-down defense position. So, just a really insane card. Honestly, this card, excuse me, guys. So this card is just really, really crazy. So for the rest of the ninjutsu art tools, we're running 1 Iron Digger. Iron Digger is really good. Really good. When I first started playing this deck, I didn't know how to utilize this card to its full potential. Now, I know how to utilize it a little bit more. I'm not saying I'm the best ninja player in the world, but whatever. So this card enables you to do a lot of crazy shenanigans. This is the card that lets you loop with Baku. Like I said, recommend looking at combo videos. So Iron Digger is an equipped spell that says the equipped monster gains 500 attack, and it is also treated as a ninja monster. That right there is just crazy, because a lot of our ninjutsu trap cards, like dancing leaves, require you to tribute a face down or a ninjutsu monster from either side of the field. Okay, so you can only use the following effects of this card once per turn, and then it says you can banish one ninja monster from your graveyard, target one card on the field, and destroy it. And then if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished ninja monsters, add it to your hand, or special summon it in face down defense position. So a lot of times, the most basic thing to do, let's just say they have an Appaloosa or something, equip Appaloosa to this, equip the Iron Digger to Appaloosa, Iron Digger effect, banish whatever you have in your graveyard, pop Appaloosa, this gets sent to the graveyard. This activates to basically add something to the graveyard. So you usually, to add, you know, whatever is your ninja monster that's banished to your hand. So a lot of times you want to add Baku, because then Baku special summons itself, and then that's kind of where the recursion, as you can see, activates, right? Because Baku nets you a card from your graveyard, and then you also have fusion material fodder. So yeah. For the last of the ninjutsu cards, I'm actually opting to run one Tenchi Kaimei. Okay, so I need to talk about this card. Why am I not running the Hidden Village field spell? I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a fantastic card. There were times where, again, to me, I lose a lot of die rolls, so I want things to essentially clear my opponent's board. Okay, and unfortunately, I'm kind of not really a passive player. I'm more of a kind of mid-rangey aggressive player, so this is just perfect for me. Let's get to what it does. So this card is always treated as a ninjutsu art card. Therefore, you can set it off this, you can search it off Hanzo, etc., etc. When a ninja monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. And then it says that if this face-up card in its owner's field spell has left the field because of an opponent's card effect, and it is now in your graveyard, you can target any number of ninja monsters with different names in your graveyard, special summon them in face-down defense position. I've never used that last effect, because usually the moment they read that, they're like, okay, that's staying up, or getting cosmic or banished or whatever. So the field spell is really, really good. Like I said, I personally like it. Maybe it's because I'm kind of maybe a noob when it comes to ninjas. Again, I'm not the best ninja player, but it's a fun deck to play and fairly competitive on a budget. So Tenchi Kaimei is my field spell of choice until maybe I get a little better. Though the hidden village one, the other one, is also really good for that grind game, to really get that grind game. But usually I like to end games rather quickly by OTKing with Maizen. So that is just my personal opinion. So that is it for the ninja tool cards, or the ninja spells. For the rest of the spells, I am running 3 Book of Moon. This card is absolutely insane in this game. In this, well, besides of the format, it's just a great interruption piece. And not only that, it just works so well with our own deck. So 3 is always a must. You can, by all means, also run Book of Eclipse, maybe 3 Book of Moon, 2 Book of Eclipse. I was playing around with those type of ratios, but I personally didn't like it because I found myself getting ashed a lot. And the fact that Book of Eclipse flips your opponent's monster's face up, kind of makes Geo irrelevant that turn, and I don't want to give him more draws. So 3 Book of Eclipse. I was also thinking about running maybe taking in like a Sol and Luna, but excuse that. I was thinking about taking in a Sol and Luna, but whatever. So we are also running 3 Pots of Prosperity. I apologize by that, guys. That's my dog, Coco. Anyway, 3 Pots of Prosperity. Like I said, I only own 3 copies. They're in my Datamorphia deck. But I am kind of ordering some more. So 3 Pots of Prosperity. The card's really good. If you don't have access to Pot of Prosperity, by all means, you can either run Book of Eclipse, or maybe another tech card. Or maybe another 3 hand traps. So just keep that in mind. But Book of Eclipse, if you want to play kind of like in a semi-competitive level, Pot of Prosperity is rather needed. And for the 1-ofs, we are running, of course, the 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Called by the Grave, and the one Harpies Feather Duster. Honestly, this card's really good. I used to never like it because I'm like, oh, it's a going second card. Whatever, man. It sucks, right? But yeah, someone that loses die rolls like me, that's pretty good. That is it for the spells, lads. For the traps, let's get to our ninjutsu arts. So, 3 Art of Dancing Leaves. Brand new card, pretty good. Activate this card by targeting a ninja monster or 1 face down defense position monster on the field. So it can, if you have Iron Digger equipped to an opponent's monster, you can tribute their monster. The cost is targeting, not tributing. Keep that in mind. And then it says, and if you do special summon 1 ninja monster from your deck, so you can special summon any ninja monster from your deck. When this card leaves the field, send that monster to the graveyard. So it actually bypasses Tabari, so you kind of don't want to special summon Tabari off this. But it also has a great effect that you can target 1 ninjutsu continuous spell or trap in your spell and trap card zone and return it to your hand. So it kind of recycles itself, so you can activate it, use it, and then bounce this back to your hand to use it for the next turn. So technically speaking, the ratios that a lot of people do is 2, but I don't feel comfortable with ninjas yet that I can get away with 2. Meaning I am also running 1 ninjutsu Art of Duplication. I was actually playing with the 2-2 ratios, but I kind of like Dancing Leaves a little bit more than Duplication, even though Duplication is technically the better of the 2. Okay, surprisingly. So activate this card by tributing 1 ninja monster. So that is the cost. Special summon any number of ninja monsters from your deck in face up attack position or face down defense position. And then when this card leaves the field, destroy those monsters. So you have to special summon out a ninja monsters that equal the level. Meaning, if it's a Hanzo, you got to special summon out level ninja monsters that equal 4. So maybe 1 green ninja and 2 Tobari equal 4. Or if you're special summoning out a Maizen, you have to special summon out level 6 star ninjas, etc., if that makes any sense. So that is it for my Ninjutsu Art Trap cards. And like I said, this deck has a hard time breaking boards going second. And not only that, I also managed to lose every single die roll. So we are obviously playing the 2 evenly matched. Yeah, just make game easier. 5 head. But also because this deck doesn't really do anything. Normally your main gas play is normal summon Hanzo Search. That's literally it. So evenly doesn't really hurt the deck. Like losing the battle phase doesn't really hurt the deck. And one of the things I love about this deck is the fact that the side deck is so insane. So guys, I will go over the extra deck, but I will say it is not complete. Please look at the deck image. That way you guys can really see what the extra deck is supposed to look like. And also look at the side deck, okay? So let's get right to it. We're running 3 Maizen. This card is fantastic. Essentially, it requires 2 ninja monsters with different types. If your opponent activates anything, you can quick effect. Activate this effect to either set a ninjutsu or summon a ninja monster from your deck. So that's the way of summoning Geo or your green ninja or your Mitsu or your Tabari, etc., etc. This is really good. And also, this card also lets your ninja monsters attack directly. So this in Geo, that's already 4,800 attack life points directly, right? And this card cannot be targeted for an attack if you control a face down defense position monster, which honestly is very common. We're also running 3 Yagamaru, the Armor Ninja. So this card is another main source of your interruption, or on your opponent's turn. It requires 2 ninja monsters with different types, as you guys can obviously tell. This is Warrior, this is Machine. This is also your instant fusion target. So essentially it just says if this card is special summoned or flipped face up, you can banish 1 ninja monster or 1 ninjutsu card from your hand, graveyard, or face up on the field to target 1 card on the field and banish it. That's pretty much it. It's just a form of interruption. And then for the rest of the ninjas, we are running 2 Ninja Grandmaster Saizo. This card is really, really good. You can get away with running 1, but I run 2 because there's a lot of Kashtira in my locals. But please, guys, like I said, look at the deck image because the extra deck is not complete. I was supposed to get those cards earlier this week, but I guess they got lost in the mail, so I'm kind of dealing with that. But please that's pretty much it. Also, look at the side deck. Oh my god, the side deck is so fun with this deck. That's honestly the main reason I picked it up, because you can do crazy stuff with the side deck that people do not expect. That being said, guys, please enjoy the deck. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Puzzled Whale out.